Hey guys, welcome back. And no, I'm not still sick. I'm actually sick again.
We do not care.
The first one kind of let me have a reprieve for Christmas and then came back literally the next day. So, as of recording, I'm sick again. But we don't miss uploads. Today, however, we are going to be going over Baby Bloodmoon Ursaluna and Iron Valiant EX. It's very reminiscent to the Entei and Iron Valiant deck that was rolling around a few sets ago that was really popular. I think this one's actually a little bit better. So let's go ahead and get into it. Baby Bloodmoon, its ability is battle hardened. When you put this Pokemon into play from your hand onto your bench, you may attach up to 2 fighting energy from your hand to this Pokemon, which is really awesome because it sets up the attack Mad Bite for fighting, and colorless. Does 100 damage, plus it does 30 more for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. So this thing can be really quite dangerous very quickly. We're really with just 2 Iron Valiant, we're going to be able to get things really kind of popping off. Why do I say that? Well, because Iron Valiant has the ability Tachyon Bits. Once during your turn, when this Pokemon goes from the bench to the active, you can put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Probably the active, but with, say, 2 damage counters down, that's another 60 damage that Ursaluna is putting out. With just 2 more, we're going from 60 extra damage to 120 extra damage, and that knocks out a ton of stuff. Every Ogerpon, with the exception of Cornerstone, it's going to hit all of your Loyal 3 cards. It's going to hit your Latias, your Squawks, you name it, it's going to knock it out. And that's kind of what we're looking for with this deck. We are also running, for a little bit of protection, the Cornerstone Ogerpon, like I mentioned before, with its Cornerstone stance. Prevent all damage from attacks done to this Pokemon from your opponent's Pokemon with abilities. This is going to be really nice. We're going to be able to stall out if we need to get a couple of turns or we're not quite set up yet. This is kind of how we help ourselves early game and potentially after they've used a couple bosses, potentially late game. It also has the Demolish attack for fighting colorless. It does 140, and this attack's damage isn't affected by weakness, resistance, or the effects on your opponent's Pokemon. So Cornerstone can attack other Cornerstone, which is pretty darn cool. We are running the Latias EX with its Skyliner ability. Your basic Pokemon in play have no retreat cost. That is phenomenal considering all we're running is basic Pokemon. We've got the Papa Bloodmoon Ursaluna, or Ursaluna EX, with its Season Skill ability. It says Bloodmoon, the attack, costs 1 colorless less for each prize card your opponent has taken. Bloodmoon, the attack, for technically 5 colorless, it does 240 damage, and it can't attack next turn. But because of the ability, this is probably a late game attacker, and we're not going to worry about it. Throw on a couple of damage counters to an Iron Valiant, and well, there we go. We can smash something, even if it has more than 240 HP. We do have the Fezandipiti with the Flip the Script ability. What it says is, if one of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn, go ahead and draw 3 cards, but you can't use more than 1 Flip the Script per turn. We've got the Squawkabilly EX with its Squawkin' Seize ability. On your first turn, ditch your hand and draw 6. It's a super good card for the very early game. We've got Iron Bundle with its Hyperblower ability. Hyperblower says if it's on the bench, you can go ahead and discard. Not knock out, you can discard it. If you do that, you force your opponent to switch one of their bench with their active. They do get to pick the Pokemon though. And lastly, we do have Radiant Greninja with its Concealed Cards ability. Take up an energy from your hand, discard it, and then draw 2 cards. Our supporter line is actually pretty decent, I think, but it does have some things that I'd like to go over. We've got the Professor's Research, a Penny, a Thorton. We have a Boss, Lana's Aid, Iono, and Grant. Professor's Research, ditch your hand and then draw 7. just a good card. We've got the Penny. Penny says, go ahead and pick up one of your basic Pokemon and all cards attached to it and put them in your hand. Thorton says, choose a basic Pokemon from your discard pile and switch it with one of your basic Pokemon that are in play. Any attached cards, any damage counters, any special conditions, and especially turns in play, all remain on the new Pokemon, which is kind of decent. We can go ahead and end up Thorton something like a Bloodmoon Ursaluna, or even Thorton down the Iron Bundle after we used it and get rid of the Squawk, which gets rid of a 2-prize liability. So I think Thornton is pretty darn good. We've got the boss's order, which says pull up an opponent's benched Pokemon and put it in the active. We do have Lana's Aid, which is super good. Lana's Aid says put up to 3 in any combination of Pokemon without a rule box and basic energy from your discard into your hand, which means we can go ahead and put Ursaluna and 2 energy into our hand, put it down on bench. It accelerates the energy, then we can attach something like a Jet Energy or another basic energy from hand, and we've got our Ursaluna back up and running literally in 1 turn. We've got the Iono. Iono says both players shuffle their hands, put them on the bottom of the deck, and then draw however many prize cards they have remaining. And lastly, we have Grant. During your turn, your fighting Pokemon do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, which is pretty decent. I don't mind that at all. What's also really cool about this is during your turn, if Grant is in the discard pile, you can discard 2 cards from your hand and then put Grant back into your hand. So what that means is at any point in time, we can go ahead and just make sure we get the attack off with Grant. Basically, throw this into the discard in the very early game. We're not worried about it. We can literally get it back at any point in time. And then say we're 10 short and we haven't used our supporter, ditch 2 cards, put Grant in our hand, and then take the KO for game. It's actually a good card when played in the right circumstances. Other than that, we do have a pretty good lineup of items, I think so. We've got a lot of switching cards and we've got a lot of energy retrievals because we want to be able to set down an Ursaluna and get it rolling very quickly. And because of Greninja, we want to be able to get our energy back. The one card to note is your Prime Catcher. Prime Catcher says pull up a bench Pokemon on your opponent's side and put it in the active. If you do that, switch one of your bench to the active as well. And the last card I kind of want to go over is Jet Energy. Jet Energy says if it's attached, it provides 1 colorless energy, but when you attach it from your hand onto a benched Pokemon, switch that Pokemon to the active, which is actually going to be able to help us kind of get, say, a couple of Iron Valiants down and get a couple of damage counters down, and then when we can't switch it out, we can put Bloodmoon Ursaluna down and switch it for us. It's going to be pretty good. That's the deck list. Let's go ahead and get into it and see how we do. Okay, given the Dragon Coin, we could be going up against Regidrago, which could be a thing, but with this deck, we want to go second. Going second allows us to potentially get a turn 1 attack off, get the Squawkabilly down, get the Professor's Research down, kind of get all of the cards that we want. We get potentially the opening hand plus another 13, which is pretty darn good if you ask me. We will go ahead and we'll drop an Iron Valiant. Why not? This hand does kind of stink though. See, so with this, depending on what we get off of this heavy ball, depending on what we get off top deck, I'm really hoping we get Squawk or a Nest Ball off top deck, because we could really smash some stuff. Or we could even do the, okay, an Ogerpon, that's fine. Let's see what we get off the heavy ball. Ooh, that Latias, that's gonna be helpful. So Latias down. Let's Earthen Vessel away. Yeah, let's Earthen Vessel away the Ogerpon at the moment. That doesn't help us. 1 and 2. Okay, so there was 4, 5. So there was 4 in there, plus 1 for 5. We don't have any in hand. That's good to know. Let's go ahead and Ursaluna down. We need to get things rolling. So 1 and 2. We need to get things moving we'll go ahead and Ursaluna up. We'll attach, and we will go ahead and Mad Bite. 100 down, that means next turn, if this Ursaluna does not get knocked out, we'll be doing, if I recall, 400 damage. So on top of the 100 that's already there, it'll be 500 on this one Giratina V. That's fine. What do I want to see off this top deck? I really, really want to see Professor's Research. That is not Professor's Research. What could we do? I think at this point we do nothing and we just attack. And see what our prize cards are. Off of that, hopefully we get the Heavy Ball. We do not. We get the Night Stretcher. That's okay though. With that, we can do Ultra Ball. Okay, throw those back in. That's fine. Flower Selecting. I think that's good. Flower Selecting. Got rid of a Grass Energy. Could attach to retreat into another Comfey. But we'll see what they get. Okay, they just pass turn. Thus must not have a good setup. What we can do here, we knock out everything with the exception of Sableye. So we'll go ahead and Switch Cart, Iron Valiant, up. Iron Valiant will put the 20 onto Sableye. What we can do after that, let's see, what do I want to do? I want to Ultra Ball away the Ursaluna and the Night Stretcher. I'm going to get the Radiant Greninja here. Radiant Greninja down. We'll go ahead and conceal cards to see what we get off of this. Nest Ball. Let's do ooh, you know what we could do? We could get another Ursaluna setup. No, we can't. Never mind. Nest Ball, we're not going to do that. Nest Ball for... We'll do another Iron Valiant. I think that's fine. And then we can go ahead and retreat into the Ursaluna. And Ursaluna will swing for 100 damage and take the knockout. Doing another prize card for us, and we get the Heavy Ball. So now, if this Ursaluna does go down, this Ursaluna, or this Heavy Ball, can go get us Fezandipiti that we know was in the prize cards. Then we get Fezandipiti for 3 cards, then Concealed Card for 2 cards, and we could be doing pretty darn good. Oh, another Giratina. Now with this, what we'd like to potentially see... Ultra Ball. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and conceal cards here. Okay, we get the switch. What we'll do here, we will retreat into Iron Valiant. Iron Valiant is going to put the 2 down. We're then going to Ultra Ball. Or, excuse me, not Ultra Ball, Heavy Ball. We want the Fezandipiti for this. We'll switch into Ursaluna. And we will go ahead and Mad Bite for the knockout.
You just shot an unarmed man.
Well, he should have harmed himself.
And we got another Heavy Ball. But we got the Heavy Ball back. So should this Ursaluna get knocked out, what we will do is Fezandipiti. Fezandipiti gets us 3 cards. Energy Retrieval gets us 2 for the Radiant Greninja. With this now, I'm trying to figure out where he's going. Okay, brings up the Sableye, heals off the damage from the Giratina. Giratina V-Star. And a pass of the turn, he said. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to Prime Catcher. Up the Giratina. We're going to put in Iron Valiant. The 2 will go to Iron Valiant. We're then going to Energy Retrieval, 2 Energy. We are then going to use Concealed Cards. Getting rid of 1 and a Jet Energy. We will then retreat into the Iron Valiant, putting up another 2. onto the Giratina Vista. We are then going to Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball will get rid of the Squawk and get rid of the Heavy Ball. Heavy Ball, so that with that, we can then get, and they'll concede. Okay, so, like I said in the last one, with this deck, we want to go second. Going second is important. We get the potential first turn knockout, we get the first supporter for the game. Honestly, the 7 that we get off the first hand, plus Squawkabilly, plus Professor, like I said, it's all 20 cards in total, if not more, if we get potential mulligans. This could be a deck that really goes pretty hard in the paint to get that first KO. And our opponent will go first, which is what we wanted. Okay, this will work. We will just go ahead and put up the 1 Radiant Greninja. We're not going to worry too much about it, and we'll see what they get. Okay, a Duskull. Nest Ball down. Okay, so we're playing the Charizard deck. This is something important to note. We have to make sure to take those Charmanders out as fast as possible. Okay, we could potentially see some stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and throw 2 Iron Valiants down. We'll go ahead and use the Iron Valiant for the first one. I want to put damage counters down as much as I can. Another Tachyon Bits. Let's go ahead and Charmander up there, and we will Professor's Research. Okay, Nest Ball. Nest Ball is going to get us the Latias. Let's see, we don't have any energy, that's fine. We'll go ahead and Earthen Vessel away the energy. We can then go ahead and conceal the cards here. And we get the Prime Catcher. Let's go ahead and Earthen Vessel away the Pal Pad here to get the last energy. Night Stretcher down with the energy here. Ursaluna down. I think that's good. We'll go ahead and attach. We will attach. We will then bring up this Charmander for the Ursaluna, and we will knock this Charmander out. The faster we do, the better.
Oh, somebody! Oh, he needs some milk.
And we get another energy. Let's see, 30 after 100. We're still doing 70 here, so that's not terrible. Let this. We're gonna want to do another Charizard. We'll probably go look for the Fezandipiti. Would be my guess here. We have 1 energy in. Okay, gets rid of those 2. My guess would be Fezandipiti. If it's Fezandipiti, what we can do is Radiant Greninja off this. Hope for a boss? No, it is a Charmander. Again, Radiant Greninja off that energy. Hope we get a boss. Pull up that Charmander and start swinging. Okay, an Arven, not bad. Arven to get the Nest Ball to get Fez. There is a world where we get another Iron Valiant and a bunch of switching cards. Okay, so PokéStop down. Let's rip the stop and see what we get off of this. We get a switch. Hold on, let him cook. Ultra Ball, we get rid of Ultra Ball and Thorton here. With that, we can get ourselves Iron Bundle here. We hold off for now. We retreat into an Iron Valiant to put the 20 here on Charmander. We then switch into Ursaluna because we can take this knockout, and we do.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Another one bites the dust. And we get our own Fez. So when this Ursaluna goes down, we're going to be okay. We do have the other 2 Ursaluna. We only run 3, I believe. Yes, we only run 3. So it's going to be important for us to be able to get the Yeah, we only run 3. So it's going to be important for us to get more Night Stretchers. Okay, Charizard or Charmander up. Hopefully do not have a rare candy into Charizard. Luminion. Luminion's going to go get... Luminion's going to go get Arven. Yes, Luminion gets Arven, I think. We'll see why not. Yeah, Arven. Arven then goes and gets 4 Seal Stone and a rare candy. Oh, into an unfair stamp. I already had the Forest Seal Stone. Candy or the Charizard already had one of the other. Okay, already had. Okay, no problem. How many of our energies? Okay, we have plenty of energy retrievals. Goes and gets the other Charmander. I think that's fine. Energy-wise, that's 5. Unfair stamp. I wish we would have had the Fezandipiti still. Really wish we had the Fezandipiti, but that's okay. We might be able to get a Nest Ball or an Ultra Ball off of the PokéStop, and things could be okay. All we actually need to do is Tachyon Bits 2 more onto this Charizard, and I think we're actually in business for a knockout with Bloodmoon. Because that would be 280 plus the 60 that's already there. That's 340. That is knockout. So we just need to be able to put 4 more damage counters onto this Charizard. If I were him, I probably would have used that counter catcher. This is a counter catcher here. I know you guys can't see it, but I probably would have used that counter catcher. I could see him going to get the Pidgey off of this. This Ursaluna is not long for this world. Oh, wow. Okay, well, he's got everything he needs for the Pidgeot next turn. So, Iono is in the discard. So, we're not going to be Ionoing him. He's going to have that Pidgeot. Oh, okay. This is a 3 price turn. He'll take away that Radiant Greninja. We'll go take that last one. See what we get off of it. We get a Nest Ball. We've got our Fezandipiti. Things could be rolling pretty darn good for us. I would like to see immediately Nest Ball for Fezandipiti before we run PokéStop, because we don't want to mill Fezandipiti. Okay. We now know that it's Pidgeot and Rare Candy.
Father, help!
Okay, we need a couple things to go right for us. We need a couple things to go right. We'll go ahead and drop Latias up front because it has free retreat. And we get a Switch Cart. Nope. Nest Ball. Nest Ball for Fez. And then we flip the script. So we retreat here into Iron Valiant. Put the 20 here. We then Switch Cart the Valiant. Put the 20 here. We then PokéStop. Okay, Heavy Ball. Heavy Ball gets us nothing, but we do know what our prizes are. We do... Okay, that's fine. That being said, we're going to check one thing. 1 switch and 3 switch carts. So we have stuff. We'll go ahead and Professor's Research here. Did not get what we wanted. It's okay. We can... Iron Bundle? Hyper Blower. With that being said, we can stand to lose, and we can stand to lose a Valiant. Yeah, we can stand to lose a Valiant, and we'll go ahead and end our turn. Now, if they have the boss, which they very easily could, because Cleffa does have free retreat, this Fezandipiti could go down. Okay, so, and we know we don't have any stretchers in discard, or in the pile. So we actually could end up getting this Charizard out of here.
Huh?
Just retreats. Little Night Stretcher for the Ursaluna. Little Energy Retrieval for 2. We can then Ursaluna. We can retreat into an Iron Valiant to kill the Cleffa. We can then Switch Cart to kill the Cleffa. That's another prize card. Energy Retrieval. What do you bring up, sir? I was really hoping for boss, because if we got the boss off of that, we should have been good. Okay. That's...
Why?
Sure, that's incorrect. We'll go ahead and drop that. Ursaluna up. We'll go ahead and put Grant back in our hand. We'll get rid of Penny, and we'll get rid of Professor's Research. Just to make sure we have enough damage. Grant goes down, and we're going to take a knockout, guys.
Boom!
Boss and the energy. And there you go. Ursaluna, well, baby Ursaluna and Iron Valiant EX. Like I said in the intro, it's very reminiscent of the Entei Valiant decks you've seen in the past. I really enjoy this deck. I think it's a lot of fun. I like that it's a one prize attacker, so they have to really kind of manipulate the prize trade or have a lot of gusting effects to really mess with you. You've got plenty of energy recovery, you've got plenty of Pokemon recovery. What would I like to see? I'd probably like to see a one of Super Rod. Lana's Aid didn't come up at all, but I could very easily see that Lana's Aid becoming get rid of the... I could very easily see that becoming a Super Rod. I could very easily see Pal Pad becoming a Super Rod. Thorton, I could very easily see becoming a Super Rod. Certain things you could definitely get rid of in this deck, but I do understand why it's really in there. Thorton for sure, because you can Thorton away the Squawkabilly, or you can Thorton away really anything. And Thorton really helps this deck. So I don't know that I get rid of Thorton, but I could definitely see getting rid of the Pal Pad. I could definitely see... I could see getting rid of Grant. It can come in clutch, but it may or may not. But yeah, that's what I think as far as what I could get rid of. Would I take this to a cup or a challenge? Yeah, I probably would. This is a deck that I probably would take to a cup or a challenge. Something I could very easily see being built and ready to go at any point in time. So yeah, probably would build this and put it into a cup or a challenge. Would I take this to a regional is the question? I don't know. I don't know for me that I would. However, I think it's regional worthy. I think it hits the numbers really well, really easily. I'd like to always see another boss. One is never enough. I don't know why people don't listen. One is never enough. You need two. So please think about that if you're going to take it to a regional. But other than that, I like this deck. I like this deck a lot. Couple of slow games, but that's kind of what this deck is. It's very quick in the early part of the games, and then it kind of really slows down, and you're kind of hoping to outpace your opponent at that point and hopefully have enough damage and enough prize cards early, that way they can't catch up and you just win over time. If you would, though, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and it helps the channel a lot, believe it or not. As of time of recording, I think we're at 182 subscribers, and you guys keep commenting, you guys keep liking. It helps with the algorithm. I really appreciate all of that. If you are in the DFW area, I do play out here in Dallas-Fort Worth, technically in Greenville, which is about an hour outside, but if you'd like, you can come by, play against my group, my testing group, come in, do a little tournament. We finally just got unlocked challenges at the store, so we can actually go ahead and run bigger tournaments, and the more we get, the more they help out, and the more they send us, and it just helps everything out. So in no way, shape, or form is this sponsored. Again, I didn't even say the name, but if you'd like to come out and play, be my guest. I enjoy teaching new people, and I like playing the game. With that, have fun, stay safe, I love you,